I want to get married again, but I don't want to lose myself in it. Yeah, there's that fear, and it's a genuine fear because you care for yourself. You've healed, you've taken care of your wounds, and you've healed, and you do not want to open those wounds or create new ones because of how much time, energy, soul it takes to heal. So it's a genuine question. Ask it. Don't be afraid to ask it. Yeah. Hi everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to Ready to Mingle. Today I'm mingling with you single moms, single dads, single seniors who are ready to mingle, okay? And I want to talk about something exciting today. It's not all gloomy, sad, tears, dark. How about what if God brings somebody along to help you? So you've been alone, you've been crying, telling God, I need help, I need help. What if help comes? What if God sends somebody? Yeah. So when God sends someone new, what do? You're not alone. Yeah, you're not alone. You have children. Yeah. And never call your children baggages, by the way. You know, there are those ladies who label their children as baggages. That, I'm single but I have a baggage. No, they are blessings. You have blessings, you have children, you are so blessed. Yeah, you are so blessed. So it's possible for God to bring somebody new. He brought one into my life. Yeah, and now I'm happily married. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. There are many episodes that we've done with my husband, talking to couples, talking to people who want to move on. We've talked a lot. So welcome to this channel. Subscribe, share, comment, like. Stay here because here we give hope. We give hope. We talk everything: life, love, heartbreaks, healing them, everything that entails wholeness. Yeah, a whole woman, a whole man, a whole marriage. Yeah, everything to do with family. Our call is to do with family. We are also pastors. We pastor a church at Kirigiti. The name is Torch of Christ Family Church. So we have a family church, and this is our burden. This is our call for families. So when you see us coming here talking to families all round, yeah, talking to single parents, talking to parents about parenting. We also bring parents on the show, especially single parents. We bring them. There are many testimonies from single parents. There are many testimonies on the show of people who have tried love again and actually are still married. So just because your marriage failed the first time, it does not mean that it cannot, you cannot be loved again or you cannot marry again. If it's your desire, go for it. Go for it. But now you've been single for all this time. What do you do now when God brings somebody new? How do you go about it? This is what I want us to talk about. So I have been there. I was once married, divorced, with children, and I got remarried. Yeah, and I've told you we are pastors. So we understand that scripture. You're asking yourself, God hates divorce. What about remarriage? Is it a sin? You know what? We're living under the era of grace. We are under grace. There are so many things that would restrict us if we went that direction. But it was my desire to get married. And you cannot sit there waiting for somebody to come, someone who will never come because they have already moved on, and you yourself want to live a good life. You want a life, you need help. If the provision comes, you go for it, you pray and ask the Lord for wisdom, and you move on. Yeah, you move on. It's not life and death getting remarried. So don't make it a very big deal. There are sins that I'm not saying getting remarried is a sin, but if it was, there are sins that are not towards death. Is that the word? There's a scripture that says something like that. There are sins that do not lead to death. So I will not fail to go to heaven because I got remarried. I'm going to heaven because I believe in Jesus. That is the standard of going to heaven. So you will go to heaven because you believe in Jesus Christ. He's the Son of God, died for your sins, rose again, and is seated at the right hand of the Father. Hizo zingine ni extras. So If you were once married and you want to get married again, go ahead. Love it may come. Move with it. Yeah, but let's talk about that. Yeah, so I'm giving you permission to get remarried. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, and I'm telling you, you will still go to heaven. You will. So don't die lonely because somebody told you God hates divorce, because somebody told you, remarriage is a sin. Hapana, you go get married and the rest we will see tukifika binguni. So today we're talking about this thing that stirs up hope, and it's somehow controversial. I think I will talk about it again with my husband because it's something that we've discussed a few times. Yeah, we've talked about it, asking each other, wait, are we sinning? The question is for him, is he sinning by marrying me? Am I sinning? Well, he's widowed. I was divorced. I don't wear that label anymore. But so we ask each other, are we in sin? Yeah. But the conclusion is no, we are not in sin. And if it were, the blood of Jesus has spoken. It has spoken wholeness, that we are whole and we are blessed as a family. And we are offering the same hope, yeah, of blessedness. So this thing stirs hope. Remarriage, it stirs up hope, brings about fear. There is fear also that comes in when you think about what if, especially the fear of bringing somebody new into your space. I know of men whose wives died, but they are afraid of bringing somebody into into their lives to help them raise their children, because they're thinking, she's not going to love my children the way my wife loved them. He would rather have somebody uko inje than marry someone because of how much he's afraid of marrying someone who would not treat his children the way their mother treated them. And it's a big deal. It is a big deal. We are in it. And the bigger chunk that might weigh down a family or a marriage is the children. The children that you've found and the children that you've come in with. It's sensitive because it does not only involve the parents who want to marry, it also involves the in-laws, it involves the entire family. And it's a process I had to go through myself together with my husband before we got married. There was a lot of vetting. And be ready for it and be open-minded. Don't be closed when you hear people asking you questions, because I had to go through it. I was asked so many questions by different people, phone calls, people you meet, people call you to meet them and they ask questions. They're trying to find out, why do you want to marry our brother? And they were trying to find out with him, why do you want to marry our daughter? It was a thing. Yeah, it was a thing. So it comes with hope, because you're feeling, wow, I'm going to be loved again. I'll have a companion, I'll have help, I'll have a friend. But again, there's fear because you're afraid for your children. You're afraid for the family. What will people say? What will your in-laws say? Yeah, from your husband's side or from your wife's side, exes. So it's, yeah, especially if you are also co-parenting with your ex, and now you brought somebody new in, you wonder, will my children call this new love dad or uncle or stepdad? There's a lot of fear and uncertainty, and I can say confusion. Yeah, but the good thing is you can actually have a structured transition if you brought somebody in to help you, because you are inside, I don't want to call it chaos, but you are inside the thing that is happening. Let me just call it chaos for now, but I don't mean chaos in the negative side. I just mean there is no one straight line of how to do this, but it's like a wedding. Yeah, there's a lot happening. There's this, there's that, so when you bring in another person to come in as a wedding planner, this person is not coming to tell you the colors to choose. He's not coming, or she's not coming to tell you this is the venue you must take, this is the cake you must, no, this person is coming in as the one who helps you with the steps. Okay, they help you prioritize the what, the how, and the why. They may give you reasons from experience. This is what I did in my last wedding I planned, so I suggest you consider these two options. You know what I'm saying? It's like a coach. Yeah, so it's important to, as we got a coach not a coach per se, but we got a couple to work with us very soon in our relationship, very soon, brought in our pastors very soon in our relationship, so that wisdom, they were able to help us with wisdom. They were able to help us with nuggets, how to navigate. They asked us, it was easier when the questions were coming from the pastors, because then this person is seeing tomorrow and they're seeing a bit far. So that when you come to the parents, to the friends, and these questions are asked, you've already gone through them in your mind. So anyway, I think I was trying to labor on the point of when I said it's a bit chaotic. It's not chaotic in the negative sense. It's just that there's no straight line of how you should do things, because you don't know how the other people will react to you getting into a relationship with a person who has children. There's also biasness that might come with it. Yeah, so one of the most important thing is healing. Beyond having answers for the parents who will ask you, where is the father? Who will ask you what will happen when the father comes for his children? Yeah, will you have another child? Will you give our brother? Will you give our sister? Will you make our sister give birth again? Look, she already has 3 children. Will you, such questions will come. Beyond all the questions, because at the end of the day, you will make the final decision. Beyond everything, healing. Heal. Even if you are co-parenting with your ex, you need to heal. Even if there is drama in that co-parenting, you need to heal. Healing is very important. Yeah. And this is a truth that most people skip. They think that when the other person, when I find love, I will be healed. No, you won't. Because, first of all, you will attract somebody who also is struggling, someone who is not healed. Healed people attract healed people. Whole people attract whole people. Hurt people attract hurt people. So if you are still hurt and bleeding, guess the company you will attract. So you need to heal first, so that your discernment is clear. So that your desire to get married, to get into another relationship, is not led by the pain, by the need to suppress the pain, by the need to get rid of this other person. But it is that you just want to move on as a person. And that was my desire. I just wanted to move on as a person. I also needed help. But my primary need to get married again was for companionship. I needed a companion. I needed someone to help me with my life. Someone to walk with. Someone that I know. I have a friend who can call me, who I can call, who can step in for me, I have someone who is close to me. That person who is closer than a brother should be a spouse. Yeah, should be a spouse. So healing is not optional when it comes to getting married again. Even getting married for the first time, healing is not optional. It is mandatory, if I may say. That is, if you want to get into something that lasts. If you want your next relationship to last, then you need to heal. I cannot emphasize that much more. Yeah, you need to heal. If you do not heal, you will attract somebody who is bleeding. And definitely what's going to happen, you're both going to bleed to death. then that would be the end of that marriage. So if your heart is still bleeding, anyone who tries to help you, even if they are healed, they will hurt you. Maybe you won't attract someone who is bleeding. You attract someone who is whole. But they come, they're trying to hold you. But you're bleeding. You have a wound that hasn't healed. They will hurt you. You will feel like everybody, why is it that everyone I meet hurts me? Because you're not healed. You have an open wound. You are bleeding. Yeah. They will hurt you even without meaning to. It's not like they want to hurt you. It's because you have an open wound. You have unresolved issues, and that's why you're hurting. That's why you feel like this relationship is not working. Because you're probably looking at them unconsciously through the lenses of the other person, through what happened to you. Let me read a text in Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything flows from it. Everything, absolutely everything. Everything to do with life, everything, the physical life, everything to do with love, everything to do with your spirituality, everything flows from your heart. Everything. So you need your heart to be healed. You need to guard your heart. Guard your heart by healing it first. So if your heart is wounded, bringing somebody else, you're going to wound your heart even more. So guard the heart and heal it first. If that person can wait, if they have come, the new love has come. Ask for permission to heal. Let them know that you have wounds. Let them know you're struggling. Yeah. If they want to walk you through, they want to help you walk the journey to healing, let them walk with you, but do not open your heart for love yet. And I'm telling you this from experience and also from wisdom. There's no need to rush into love when you have open wounds. That person, if they love you, they can wait. So before you give your heart to somebody else, make sure that heart is whole. Why would you give somebody your heart if your heart is bleeding? Why would you give your heart to somebody if your heart is broken? Why would you give your heart to somebody if that heart still, the other half is with somebody else? See how you get heartbroken? That heartbreaking, where do you think that peace went? It went with the person who broke it. So you need to make sure the other person is not holding that peace. That you have a whole heart. That you're loving this person wholeheartedly. Because you got your heart back. Okay, so we want to heal the hearts so that we are able to give them fully to the person God is bringing so that the marriage lasts. Okay, remember, I'm not talking about relationship. This is leading towards marriage. Okay, ask yourself these questions. So I know you're asking, how will I know if I'm healed? How will I know if my heart is bleeding? How will I know if there's a piece of my heart that is with the other person? So there are 3 questions I want you to ask yourself. Ask yourself, number 1, what did the last relationship break in you? So it ended the way it ended. What part of your heart broke as a result of the breaking of that other relationship? Single moms, can we talk? I know you're saved. I know all that. I know you know your scripture. But these are real issues. These are real issues. What broke? You need to be honest with yourself and take notes. Take a pen and a notebook and write down what broke when that person left. What broke when you left that relationship? When that relationship ended, what broke in you? Number 2 question you need to ask. What lies did you believe afterward? After that breaking, after the relationship ended, after whatever happened, what lies did you believe? You know, let me mention a few lies people believe. Number 1, all men are. Marriage is a. You cannot trust the daughters of. You start now becoming, what are these people called? You start saying, People from this region are like this. They have anger issues. People from this other region, they're like this. They don't keep marriages. People from this other region, they are irresponsible fathers. People from this other region, they are not romantic. You know what I'm saying? What lies do you believe right now about relationships? What if somebody brings you a man from that region, the one you're saying they're usually not romantic? What if that is actually the person God has brought or is bringing along? So you need to deal with your biases, deal with your myths, the ones you have created for yourself because of the breaking of that relationship. Another question you need to ask yourself, have you allowed God to speak the truth to those wounds, to your wounds? You've been wounded, you've been hurt, and this is what you believe now. Marriage is a scam. These people are like this. You don't want because of whatever. What have you allowed? Have you allowed God to speak into those wounds? Have you allowed Him? Have you allowed the truth? Because there's what you believe and then there's the truth. What you believe is because of your experience. But it's not true in my case. It's not true in somebody else's case. Yeah, that is what you would say it's your truth. But your truth might not be true. So allow the truth to define what truth is. Okay. So now, I told you that wholeness attracts wholeness. But that person may come whole and you might still be wounded. And I told you the importance of you dealing with yourself, dealing with your heart, so that when the other person comes, they don't hurt you unintentionally. So it is important, if you want to move on, if you want to get married again, deal with your heart. This is something that almost every woman, every man I have spoken to about getting remarried, the ones who have been remarried, when I ask them, how did you know you were ready? What changed? Because sometimes they stay for long. You hear someone has stayed for 3-4 years without getting into a relationship, without even thinking of getting married again. And one thing they usually say is that I forgive the other person. I let them go. That is key. It is very key, very important. Success rate is high when you're healed. Okay, so you won't fall for the counterfeit out of loneliness if you are whole. You get? You won't fall for counterfeit because you will be able to see, because you're whole. So your discernment and your judgment will be accurate because you're whole. You're not judging this person based on your other experiences. So your lenses are clean, that you can see clearly. This is not vague. This is a red flag. This is not vague. This is a white flag. This is a go. You know, you can see because you are whole. All right? So when you've waited for a long time, say you've healed, you've moved on, forgiven the person, and you're okay, you have absolutely no issues with them, and now you're contemplating, you know, I want to move on again. Do you know that new love do you know that there is a possibility of new love stirring up old wounds? There is that possibility that this person would say something, do something that reminds you of the other person. Why? Because your soul still has that information from the other person. So it is important to mature and be able to differentiate whether, instead of always comparing this person to the one who left, it is wise to always be keen to differentiate, that you can be able to differentiate this person from the one who left. That I can see this is a character in this person which is not influenced by what I had with the other person. So be able to let your discernment be clear, even when old wounds are stirred. You've healed, you've moved on, you're in a new love, but there's something about this guy that reminds you of the other person. So ask yourself, why am I remembering the other guy? Is it because I've still not dealt with that issue? Or is it because this person actually has an issue? Yeye peke yake, akiwa peke yake. So don't bundle up men. Don't bundle up women and have a blanket view of how they behave or relate with you. So remember, even as you're doing this, as you're checking your discernment, as you're discerning this person, remember this is not about you. What you're discerning for is not only for your love only. It's not only because you want to move on. Your discernment, why you're discerning this, is because you come as a package, and that's the truth. Yeah, you come as a package. Probably you don't even have children, but you're a senior single person. You come as a package because you've come with experiences, you've come with past relationships, you've come with, say, a business, you've come with property, you've come with a name, okay? You have come with status. What does this mean? You're a CEO somewhere, and you're ready to get married. Again, probably. What does it mean to discern this person, whether this person is right for you? What does it mean for you? So when you're discerning this person, you're not discerning this person for you only. You're discerning, they might be the best lover. They are romantic. They are kind. They open the door for you. They pull the chair for you. You know, they don't exaggerate. You know, they don't chew out loud. I mean, you like everything about them. But what does it mean when it comes to discernment? When you're discerning, you're not discerning for yourself. You're discerning for your name, for your status. For me, I was discerning for my ministry. Not only for love. I was discerning for my ministry. And that is why, even as we started off this podcast, at the very beginning, my husband and I, when we were talking about how we met and the decisions, the silent questions we would ask when we look at each other or think about each other, you know, some of my questions were, will this person support my ministry? Will this person be okay being the husband of a pastor? Because now I have come into this relationship. I've been building myself for this, and here I am. There you are, building yourself and building this business. There you are. You're designing yourself not just for love. He is loving his all this. But what does it mean for your business? What does it mean for your vision? What does it mean for your call? What does it mean for your children? What does it mean for your family? Is this the ideal person? Is he going to fit the bill? So discernment when it comes to senior singles is beyond, you know, the feelings, what you feel when you're with this person. It is beyond that. And so you need to, first of all, put your personal desires aside and discern this person as a whole. Is it that because I had one pastor lady say that she wouldn't want to marry a pastor because she is a pastor. She knows she has the vision. She has everything. The vision is with her. For me, I was okay. So for her, she's not okay. She wouldn't want to get married to a pastor. For me, I was okay even getting married to a pastor. You see, now, what is in your desire? What does your ideal man look like? So as you're discerning this person, do you discern like they fit the bill? And with senior singles, we don't beat around the bush. We go straight to the point. So don't wait to be blinded by love. Because as you're dating, as you're going through, you know, that season of having coffee, trying to decide, do I answer his call? Do I go on a second date? Do I go on a fifth one? Am I ready to meet his friends? Before you get there, be open. Share your vision, share your dreams. If you see that this person is ish about it, you have your answer. So don't discern in silent. Yes, you can discern. You can discern some things in silent, but make them known. Because you met this person, you don't know their body language very well. There are some people who are not expressive, but when they tell you, they share something with the words, they mean what they're saying. So don't use only expressions. This is what I feel. I mean, have logic conversations with a person. Have serious conversations, and you will be able to discern properly. And you can break up. I think you're a really good guy. I like you, but I don't see you fitting in my end term vision. Like my end goal, I don't see us. I don't see us being compatible because of 1, 2, 3 things. And they will be okay to tell you. Me, I wouldn't want to get married to a pastor. I wouldn't want to marry a pastor. So yeah, that's a deal breaker. So be clear about your deal breakers. For me, I was very clear with my deal breakers at the very, very beginning. So be clear about your deal breakers so that your discernment is clearly defined, and even the other person understands what you're saying and doing. So this is not spy work. You're not a spy. So just be a spy. Machawi. You're trying to see. Just be honest. Be open. Yeah, talk like a grown person, a grown up, have a civilized conversation. But if it's somebody you cannot have a civilized conversation, you know the answer. So your kids are involved, your legacy is involved, your future is involved, and life starts at 40. And if you're going to start your life again with this person, then it needs to be a good one. It needs to be a life that you want to live for the rest of your life. Okay, so let me tell you what wise discernment looks like. Wise discernment looks like he actually respects you for who you are. When you make he respects you just the way you are. Yeah, he respects your time, because it gets to a place, somebody getting late, they actually don't value you. They respect your time. Somebody is a timekeeper. Somebody respects your no and your yes. That's someone you can talk to. So wise discernment looks like that. He respects your time. He respects your no and your yes. He respects your let me get back to you on that without pushing you for answers. He actually respects that you are a grown-up and you know what you're saying. Yeah. He has a personal walk with God. Important. He has a personal walk with God. Loves God. Yeah. Loves God. Because somebody who loves God will not want to be on the wrong side of God, would not want to hurt you, because they love God. Your security is not in this person loving you, because in marriage there are some days you wake up, you don't even feel like you love the person. You're just there. But because this person loves God and you love God, you're there for the long haul. This is just like a season and we're moving on. I love you. So he has a personal walk with God, and not just church attendance. Not somebody who tells you, me, I follow Apostle so and so, I go to this church, I'm a member, I'm a tither, I'm a this, so much works. Be careful with such a person who presents their resume based on the things they do for God. Do they have a personal relationship with God? That is of uttermost importance. He sees your children as a part of the package, not as an obstacle. He sees your children, your businesses, everything that you have come with, for men and women. This, I'm talking to both. Yeah, this person, he or she, sees everything that you have come with as part of the package and not as an obstacle. They're not looking at your child or children like, wait, so does it mean I'm going to be paying school fees? I'll be the father of these children now. They're not seeing your children. If somebody sees your children as an obstacle, run yesterday. Run. Don't even wait for the sun to go down. Run. And okay, just tell them openly, you know what? Thank you very much. It happened to me when I was still very young when I was still with my firstborn. I've shared this before. I was a teen mom, and so I have been a single mom for longer than I have been an adult. So this person, an excellent man of God, he was preaching by the time I was a youth. He was in ministry. He had a name. He had everything. I mean, he was good looking. He had a good character. I mean, I liked him, and we had a relationship for some time. But something he said about me having a child, he said, so now we were talking about friends, family, and later I told him this, and he said, I don't remember saying that. Yeah, because it didn't affect you. It was nothing to you. It was something to me. So I picked it. So he said, well, I don't know what my mom will say about you having a child. I wonder what people will say. I'm a man of God. I preach. I am known. I don't know what people will say. That was the end. For me, that was it. Like, there was no discussion. Absolutely. If you had that question in your mind, you should have processed it first before bringing it to my attention. And say, I know people will say, I know people might say, but I am with you. Don't worry about what people might say. So that's different from saying, I don't know what they will say. Why don't you know? So what are you telling me? You know what I'm saying? So that, for me, that was it. So it needs to be discernment. Wise discernment looks like is that this person sees your children as part of the package and not an obstacle. Okay, not an obstacle to his mission or her mission, because this person is also coming with a mission, a vision, and whatever it is they're coming with, because they're probably also a senior single. So the children needs not to be an obstacle. The church needs not to be an obstacle. Okay, so one last thing when it comes to discernment, it is that this person should bring peace, yeah, and not confusion. There should not be confusion that now, I don't know whether this person is going to be the deacon, the assistant pastor. Do I make you the CEO also? Do I make you the accountant? Where do I put you? Those questions might come. Talk about them. So now that you have come in, I have this established business. Where do we place you? Where do you see yourself serving? And it should not be that you're confused. Confusion is not a good place to make a decision. Confusion is not good. It's a sign that God is not there. So if there is confusion, take a step back. Take a very big step back. Yeah. Take a breather. Come back to it later. Talk about it. Talk about the confusion. Because confusion is a big sign that God is not in that thing, no matter how beautiful it looks. I'm getting ready to wind up. So, God does not just want you to love again. He's not just bringing love into your life. He wants to bring someone who will complement who you already are, not someone who is coming to confuse you, take you out of purpose, add or remove things that you have built with your time, energy, prayer. No. Yeah. So my question would be, are you involving God? Are you asking whether this is the right person? Let me ask you this question in another way. Do you know what your ideal person looks like? What are your expectations? Yeah. Define what your expectations are before this person comes. Then if they have come and you have not yet defined your expectations, take a short step back or a big one, depending on the situation, and assess what you want. Define what you want. Because if what you want is not defined, you will not know it when it comes. Anything that comes will swipe your feet and you will go with it. So you need to define what you want. Okay? I know that one of the biggest fears when it comes to heartbreaks, especially when you've been in an abusive relationship, not so good relationship, is that I want to get married again, but I don't want to lose myself in it. Yeah, there's that fear, and it's a genuine fear, because you care for yourself. You've healed, you've taken care of your wounds, and you've healed, and you do not want to open those wounds or create new ones because of how much time, energy, soul it takes to heal. So it's a genuine question. Ask it. Don't be afraid to ask it. Yeah, ask it. What if I lose myself again? Yeah, you deeply loved somebody else and it costed you your name, costed you your time, years. Yeah, because of loving this person. Yeah, and now you are guarded. You have put a fence all over your heart. You do not want even a mosquito to come near your heart, because you're like, love is a scam. Marriage is a scam. It's okay. It's okay to be skeptical. It's okay to not want to get married again. It's okay not to want to be loved again. It's okay. But define what your okay looks like. Is your okay because of the heartache, because of what happened? Or are you okay because you're already whole? And you're not going around tarnishing the name marriage. Yeah, just because yours didn't work, it doesn't mean it can't work. It doesn't mean the marriages are not working. So marriages are working. Yeah, but the truth is, if you are whole and you still have that perspective, you still have that mindset concerning relationship and marriages, and concerning, moving on, you're very guarded. It doesn't mean that you cannot drop the guard. You can drop the guard. You can actually be loved again. You can. Yeah. But remember, you can't build a connection where there is a guard. So if you have put a guard and you're trying to build connection with somebody else, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I know people who got married and one party was guarded heavily. That person is still guarded even in marriage. It's very, very unfortunate. So if you are guarded, it means that you're still not healed. You still have bandages on your wound. Get the bandages off. Heal fast so that you're able to love somebody else. Let me read you a text. 1 Peter 5:10. After you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace will himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. Imagine the place to go to again is to God. Like, you can go to him for restoration. You can go to him for establishment. You can go to him after you have suffered. You have suffered in the name of love. You have suffered in the name of, you don't even want to see people who are in love. You feel like you want to puke. You feel like, gosh, take these people away from me. You are allergic to love because of what you went through. After you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace, the grace of God is all-rounded. It is multifaceted. It is not only available when we're talking about spiritual matters, even when it comes to love and other matters. It is the God of all grace will himself restore. 1 Peter 5:10 will restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. Use this scripture on you. Okay? Because you can love again. You can trust again. Yeah? But you must be careful with your heart. Remember how we started. Guard your heart above all. Because from where? From there springs what? Everything. Yeah? Springs the issues of life. Everything concerning you springs from the heart. So after you have suffered, yes, you have suffered in the name of love, suffered in the hands of love, suffered in the hands of women, suffered in the hands of men. But if there is still a desire in you, go to the God of all grace. Go to the God of all grace. Yeah? But don't rush. Don't rush into another relationship now. I'm not telling you, go answer that call tomorrow. No. Build trust with time. Pole too. Build it with time. Walk with other people. Don't do this alone. Get somebody to walk with you. Get a couple. That is for marriage. Yeah. Not people who badmouth marriages and then you're going to them, or they badmouth relationships and then you go to them for help. No, they won't help you. They will make things worse. Okay? One last very important pointer: keep your business, your children, everything that you have acquired, keep your very, very important affairs, very important personal affairs away from your romance first. Just because you love someone doesn't mean now you can start bringing them into your business. That now you can start bringing them to their office. They're picking you at your office, dropping you, they're coming over for lunch break. Where? Don't do that. Keep your personal, very personal, intimate affairs away from the romance, especially at the beginning, including the children. Guard them. They are your heart. Your business is your heart. We know of stories where people were swept clean because of involving themselves with people too soon into their businesses. So keep them away soon. Okay? So, and ask yourself, what would loving somebody or trusting someone look like? Define it. Just be honest with yourself and define it. Yeah, define it. Write it down so that you can see what you're writing. Because sometimes when you keep things in your head, they get jumbled up with all the mess. But when you write down clearly what it would look like, then it's easy for you to reflect and say, okay, this is what it looks like, and this is what I need to work on. So when you come to the podcast, ukuange na kalamu na karatasi. Yeah. So define it and make sure it's spirit-led and not led by your wounds. Remember the biasness I talked about? Remember what I talked about when I was talking about the myths that you have created and formed and for yourself? Yeah. So get rid of them. Define what love looks like. Define what a new relationship looks like. But guard your heart. Your children are your heart. Your business is your heart. Your workplace is your heart. Because someone might come at your workplace to spoil your name. You don't know what they might do behind your back. Just be careful. Guard your heart. This is for single seniors. It can also apply to you if you're trying to find love for the first time. So my name is Rukenya. I was with you for today's, I feel like it was a class. So let's see what to talk about next time. If you have questions, comments, you would like to get in touch with us, with me, or with my husband, feel free to do that. I'm going to leave our phone number right here. You can call or send an SMS or inbox us on any of our social media channels, and we will be happy and glad to work with you, to hold your hand until you land in the right hands of love. Even if you are already in love in a relationship and you're going through stuff and you need somebody, a middleman, to come help you in the messiness of what's happening, feel free to reach out and we will be happy, more than glad actually, to work with you. So thank you for tuning in. My name is Rukenya. I've said it. Subscribe, share, comment, like. Bye. Thank you.